Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be playing Photons, a very underrated deck in my opinion. And we're up against Familiar Possessed. I believe these have the new cards that are coming out in the OCG structure deck, and they are getting some incredible support, like this card right here, Masters of the Spiritual Arts. You can discard a card and take any two in archetype cards, add one to your hand, and set the other to the field. So he's just going to use that. He's going to search the Earth Familiar Possessed, and he will set the Awakening of the Possessed. I believe this draws a card. Yep, it draws a card every time you normal summon any spellcaster with 1850 attack. So he's going to activate the field spell 2. It'll negate the first monster effect your opponent activates while you control a monster with 1500 defense. So it also can search one of the beast things by shuffling a spellcaster into the deck. And that spellcaster and the beast have to be of the same archetype, I believe. So he's going to summon that. And then he's going to hard summon one of the new cards. They're basically upgraded version of these ones. This one can pretty much just... and all of them can summon themselves from the deck, which just makes them kind of like extra deck monsters. And he can summon any monster from your graveyard when he is summoned. So it's just going to revive that Hida. And he will link into Asa, the Earth Charmer Immovable. And now this thing, it's pretty much kind of like Mrs. Radiant. I mean, its floating effect is pretty much the same. When it is destroyed, you can search something with 1500 less defense, an Earth monster. And it can summon an Earth monster from your opponent's graveyard. So he's going to use the effect of that thing. It like searches a spiritual art. And he's going to set one. So now right here in our hand we have a pretty generic hand. We have Photon Sanctuary, which can help us go into Galaxy Eye's Soul Flare Dragon, which can help us recover a Photon or Galaxy monster in our graveyard. And the way we're going to get that Photon Galaxy monster in our graveyard is by using Trade-In, which can discard this Galaxy Brave in our hand, which we can use later. He's going to discard that, and he's activating Unpossessed. I don't know what that does, I'm just going to ignore it. And then we're going to summon 2 tokens. We're going to link into a Soul Flare. And then he's going to chain this thing, I think like pops and negates and monster reborns all at the same time. I don't know how that's not broken, but it pops, negates, and reborns at the same time. On top of that, this helps him draw a card. We can use the Galaxy Soldier in our hand. We can summon it, and then we can use its effect to search a Galaxy Knight, which then we can go ahead and normal summon it to revive our Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. I kind of forgot about this Photon Thrasher in my hand, but just ignore my misplay over there. We're going to use Galaxy Expedition, summon another copy of Galaxy Soldier, and then we'll overlay into a Nova, into a Cyber Dragon Infinity. Infinity will go ahead and eat up that Link monster. We're going to overlay into Cypher Dragon, and I forget that Cypher Dragon locks you out of attacking directly, so that's kind of a very big misplay on my part. I get destroy a face-up monster he controls. I didn't really read any of this, so I just assumed that the field spell is important. I should have ranked up into the Neo Galaxy Eye Cypher Blade Dragon, pop another card he controls. For some reason I did not do that. Oh wait, I do that. Oh yes, I entered battle phase. I thought I could attack directly for game, and then I realized I can't attack. So we're just going to go ahead, pop that Awakening of the Possessed. And then during his end phase, he will try to use the effect of his Nefarious Eater thing, and we will negate it, because I don't want any Nefarious Eaters on the ground. So he draws another one of these things. Once again, I just assumed that the field spell is important, so I just activate that thing. And I believe this trap has the graveyard effect to activate another thing from your graveyard or something. I don't know. I don't read these cards. He's going to go straight for the thing. And apparently this thing gives all your Familiar Possessed 800 plus attack after during damage calculation only. I was just like, how did that thing beat over me? So we have a Galaxy Zero and a Galaxy Trance. Galaxy Trance the Monster Reborn plus the Last Duel both in one, a Photon Thrasher and a Galaxy Zero, a themed Monster Reborn. So you have two Monster Reborn cards, which is super great. Going to start off with that one. We'll summon something from the graveyard. We're going to use Cypher Blade in order to pop something, the monster, until I realize that this thing protects him from being destroyed by card effects. So I just attack for some damage. I should have used Galaxy Trance. I probably should have used Galaxy Trance. I don't know what I was thinking. But he activates Storming Mirror Force. But then that gives me a that Storming Mirror Force actually helped me in the sense I can summon that Photon Thrasher in my hand. Normally summon Galaxy Knight, revive that Galaxy as Photon Dragon, overlay into Draglubion. Go into Hard Earth Dragon, and just please ignore these massive misplays by me not activating Galaxy Trance. I could have probably also ended on the Galaxy Knight thing that pop negates monster effects, or a Hope Harbinger, which can negate more stuff. I don't know why I did that. I mean, if I did use this, I wouldn't be able to get that Hard Earth Dragon out. So I guess I kind of prioritized the Hard Earth Dragon over this, because I kind of assumed that they do not have any non-effect removal. So right here, there's just activating more stuff. Those things are getting really beefy. He's gonna attack. That is gonna deal me some damage, and then he's gonna attack, and Hard Earth Dragon will just reflect any damage. He probably didn't read that. So then he's just gonna go ahead. Whoops, that was an accident. He's gonna hard summon this thing, and this thing like burns for stuff. I don't know. I don't read this stuff. We're gonna use the effect of Hard Earth Dragon, banish every single thing he's done so far, except any continuous spells or traps. And he surrenders. I mean, I did have this Galaxy Trance. I had a Photon Vanisher too, so there was pretty much no way he was going to recover from that. It just shows the ability of this deck to break boards. So we're going to go first now. This deck can also do pretty well going first. We open against Cyber Dragons, and we are up against Nibiru. Okay, nice deck, nice deck. So we're gonna start off with the Galaxy Brave. I'm kind of forced to use the Galaxy Brave. First off, I could have used the Galaxy Soldier, but I was like thinking, oh, I could use Galaxy Brave, reveal Soldier, and activate Galaxy Expedition. But then I realized it says only reveal one Photon monster, so I can't really do that now, can I? But that's okay. I can just use Photon Orbital just to search something, and then we're gonna search a Photon Vanisher. Vanisher will summon itself. We get to search for a Galaxy Ice. We're going to discard that Galaxy Ice to summon Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier will search anything we want. We're going to be searching Galaxy Knight. Now Galaxy Knight can normal summon itself and revive that thing. And then he Nibiru's us. Nice deck, nice deck. In my personal opinion, Nibiru should only belong in the side deck and nowhere else. But I mean, on the plus side, we have a 10,000 attack token, 5,000 defense, so that's super great. And I don't know why he main decks evenly matched. There's no reason to main deck evenly matched ever. Only if you know for a fact that you're gonna go second. I mean, I guess they do like going second, Cyber Dragons, but then if you're running Nibiru, what's the point of running evenly matched, if you get what I mean? I mean, you can probably run something like Sphere Mode instead, something that you can control. And I don't see a reason why he doesn't set the evenly matched. I think he thinks he can just activate it from his hand, if everything goes away. Not that he's gonna survive a 10,000 attack token either way. We're gonna activate that. We're gonna search a Galaxy Trance, and what Galaxy Trance does: pay 2,000, summon the Photon Dragon from a graveyard and a Galaxy monster from our deck. So now we can activate Galaxy Expedition, summon another thing from our deck. We're going to use the Galaxy Soldier. He perms that, but that is perfectly fine. On top of sealing this Called by the Grave, but that's okay. And we can go into a Prime Photon Dragon. It's solely just for the extra damage. Not that's going to matter, because we can just use we're just going to rank it up into Armor Dragon, pop his token, attack for 10,000. I mean, that's kind of his own Nibiru's fault, but I guess we'll just go into our last and final replay then. So this time we are up against Zodiacs. but not just any normal zodiacs. He's open to Ram and Tenki, so you can just search a Thorblade. It's not any normal zodiacs. It is a very weird OCG version of zodiacs. And we're gonna start off with the Galaxy Soldier, discarding the Photon Dragon. Galaxy Soldier will go ahead and search Galaxy Knight from our deck, mainly because it can just reborn the Galaxy Photon Dragon. Next, we're going to use Photon Orbital. It's practically just a Rhoda. On top of being able to, you get its effect directly from the deck using Union Carrier. A Union Carrier can just equip it to anything. And then Photon Orbital will just get his search. So we're going to use Pot of Desires, banish 10, draw 2. We're going to normal summon Knight. We're going to reborn our Photon Dragon. We're going to link into Soul Flare. Soul Flare will just trigger retrieving our Photon Dragon. We're going to use the effect of Photon Brave, which will special summon itself. We'll use its effect to revive. I mean, it doesn't revive stuff. I'm just making it gain attack for the flex. We have Galaxy Zero in our hand anyway, so we can just use that. We're going to overlay into a Photon Lord and pass. Now, the ability to just Trident our opponent and having a monster negate is super great. On top of this, that Photon Lord has a second effect that nobody really uses. It practically just searches anything you want, which is super great. So he has Ghost Ogre question mark. I don't really know why people run Ghost Ogre anymore. Or I mean, he's playing OCG, so I guess it's good in the OCG. I don't really keep up to date there. So we're going to be chaining our Galaxy Photon Lord to search. If he's going to chain Ghost Ogre, we're going to have to chain him to negate the Ghost Ogre. And then we're going to get our search for Galaxy Expedition, which we can use on our next turn with Galaxy Soldier. As long as we have Galaxy Soldier on the field, we can just use Expedition. Even if we don't, we can just use Galaxy Wizard. Search something like Galaxy Brave. Okay, that's a lot of galaxies. But he's going to be searching a Thorblade, obviously. Normal summon the Thorblade. Discard 1, draw 1. Dragma Zodiacs. Dragma Zodiacs. I mean, Ecclesia is not very useful on its own. Pretty much the Dragmas are capable of doing a combo, which will just instantly winda your opponent. There's a 1-card winda, but it is not Ecclesia, unfortunately. So we're gonna overlay. He's gonna overlay some more. He's gonna go into check 9. We're gonna chain our Soul Flare Dragon. We're gonna discard the Photon Dragon, and we will just Trident it, and he will summon the Ram, and he has the Ecclesia. Since we control a monster that was summoned from the extra deck, he can summon Ecclesia, and Ecclesia will search Maximus Dragma. And now he has the fodder for Maximus Dragma in the form of all his Xyz monsters. He can summon that, and then he'll use its effect. He's going to be sending an Apoklon and a Natis. And we'll be sending a Harder Dragon and a Union Carrier, mainly because we don't really need it that much at this state of the game. And if we were running any machine fusions, something like a Mechaba, then we could just send Cyber Dragon Nova to the graveyard and summon the Mechaba. I'm starting to see stuff like Natis and Cyber Dragon Nova in some OCG side decks, mainly just to counter Dragma. But I think it's kind of unnecessary. He's going to use the Apoklon and the Natis. He's going to pop my Photon Lord, and he's going to search the Rook and discard the Ram. He's going to attack with his Ecclesia, set 2, pass. And now we've drawn. If he has any way to pop my thing, I can activate I can special summon Photon Thrasher, but it's not too necessary. We're just going to activate Galaxy Trance. Going to chain his Rook to overlay fusion summon that thing. Oh yes, Rook can apparently send stuff to the graveyard too. Send something of the same attribute to the graveyard. So just sent my Soul Flare to the graveyard. We have Galaxy Braid and Photon Dragon on the field. We're going to use the Galaxy Expedition. The best thing to summon right now is a Galaxy Soldier. I'm going to use its effect. Search a Galaxy Knight. So in case we can pretty much just go into another Soul Flare if we really want to, but that's unnecessary. Now now that I've learned my lesson from that earlier duel, I know not to just blow up my opponent's monsters after using Cypher Dragon. When you use Cypher Dragon, steal that Maximus. I probably should have stole that construct, but I think Maximus was the right choice because it would be turn on live next turn too. So we're just going to overlay into a full armor, pop something he controls. We can normal summon the Galaxy Knight, which will summon back the Photon Dragon, and then we will use his own Maximus Drag map, which is a level 8 by the way, in order to go into a Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. We're going to attack that, and Prime Photon will trigger. It gains 200 times their total rank. We have 16 ranks in total, so it gains 3200 attack. And by the way, Ecclesia cannot be destroyed by battle it can be destroyed in battle with monsters summoned from the extra deck. So we can just attack over it again and again, and we can finally attack over it with our Galaxy Knight. During our main phase 2, we're going to just rank it up one more time into Cypher Blade. Cypher Blade will pop his back row, it's just a Cosmic Cyclone, and then we'll go into Soul Flare. Soul Flare will retrieve our Photon Dragon, and just like that we have another Trident. Perfect. And he surrenders. I mean, he did have a Tenki, he did have a Thara Blade, but I guess Tridents are just too powerful. So this deck does have the capability of demolishing boards, mainly because they do have access to stuff like Cypher Blade, Full Armor Dragon, which is just pop 2 in itself. They have access to a Trident, which is a pop 1. They have they have access to Galaxy Edge Prime Photon, which can pretty much beat over anything in the deck. You can pretty much beat over anything, potentially even Armityle, and we also have Drag Lubion into Numeron Dragon, which is again another way to go with this deck. So we'll go for the deck profile that now again. So right here we have the deck, 3 copies of Photon Dragon. In the OCG they have a card called Afterglow Dragon. It just makes Photon Dragon even more useful as it's level 8 that you can summon for free from your hand. Photon Dragon, the deck kind of revolves around it, mainly because you can pretty much search it with every single card in the deck. You have cards dedicated to summoning it, like Galaxy Knight, Photon Vanisher, this exists right here, Star Liege Lord Galaxion, and other stuff too. We have 2 copies of Galaxy Knight. Galaxy Knight is pretty much a instant monster reborn. We have 3 copies of Galaxy Brave, it's a free summon from your hand. 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier, not only does it act as fodder for your Cyber Dragon Infinity, it doesn't only summon to search itself. If you've been playing Cyber Dragons, it can search any Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. So you can search anything you want, something like a Galaxy Brave or Galaxy Knight in case you want to recur your Galaxy Photon Dragon. Next we have 2 copies of Photon Thrasher, really good to have in your opening hand. Thinking of bumping this up to 3, but it's kind of unnecessary, mainly because we have 3 copies of Photon Vanisher. It can summon itself for free, and on top of that it can search for a Galaxy-sized Photon Dragon when it is summoned. We have 3 copies of Photon Orbital, it's pretty much a free Rota. 3 copies of Galaxy Wizard, once again it's just a Rota, just tribute itself, search anything you want. 3 copies of Photon Sanctuary. This Photon Sanctuary has saved me so many times, mainly because of the mainly because of the ability to go into Soul Flare, and Soul Flare is a Trident, and there's a reason why Trident was banned for a couple of years. 2 copies of Desires. We need that extra draw powers. That's the same reason we run 2 copies of Trade-In. And we do run a nice couple of level 8s, not enough to run 3, but 2 copies of Trade-In is perfectly fine. 3 copies of Galaxy Expedition, it practically summons anything you want from your deck. 2 copies of Galaxy Trance, it's a monster reborn plus summon from the deck. The only reason I haven't bumped this up to 3 is because it does kind of require you to have a Photon monster in your graveyard, so it's not really that good having it going first. Mainly because there's no reliable way of getting Photon monsters in your graveyard, and on top of that they have to be of the same level, so even if you do have something like a Photon Orbital in your graveyard, the only real target you have for it is Galaxy Wizard. Next we have 3 copies of Called by Grave for those hand traps, 2 copies of Galaxy Zero, it's a monster reborn, and 2 copies of Tachyon Transmigration. If you control a Galaxy-sized monster, you can negate all of your opponent's effects that are activated in the chain and shuffle them into the graveyard. It's pretty much kind of like the Roid negate card, and I really want to bump this up to 3, but we might have to like give up some consistency cards. Like Galaxy Wizard is super important, mainly because that extra normal summon is just comes in so handy. I was thinking of bumping it up to 3. If you want to bump this up to 3, you can, just because it's such a brilliant card at negating your opponent's card effects. Because you're pretty consistently able to end on Soul Flare plus a Photon Lord, which is 1 negate plus search and plus a Trident. And Tachyon Transmigration is just an incredible card. Just run it at 3 if you really want to. I only run it at 2, by the way, because I don't want to brick really hard. Because earlier when I did run this at 3 and I didn't run any copies of Pot of Desires. I did sometimes brick because I just opened 2 copies of it in my hand, and I didn't have enough extenders in my hand, as this deck does rely heavily on having certain cards in your hand. For extra deck, we have 1 copy of Cypher Blade. It's a pop. 1 copy of Hard Earth Dragon, mainly because you can just summon it off Draglupion, and during your opponent's turn, if they are not able to out this using card effects, they pretty much lose. 1 copy of Full Armor Dragon. It's once again a pop. Usually during your main phase 2, if you're going second, you're probably just going to go into a Prime Photon Dragon, attack for some damage. Then you're going to rank up into an Armor Dragon and a Cypher Blade Dragon to pop 2 cards your opponent controls. 1 copy of Draglupion. You can either go into Numon Dragon or a Hard Earth Dragon, depending on whether you're going first or second. Numon Dragon, it doesn't just stop at 9,000 attack. It can easily go to maybe 18,000 attack, mainly because it's so easy to just get rank 8s on the field in this deck. 1 copy of Cypher Dragon. Cypher Dragon is a really good card if your opponent just has an entire board. Its restriction where you can't attack directly is kind of enough to nerf this card, but it is an incredible card nonetheless. 1 copy of Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Just call it Hope Harbinger. It's a spell negate. On top of that, it is a monster attack magnet, so it forces your opponents to kind of attack it, but you kind of have a detached 1 card to do that. On top of that, it has the floating effects. Nobody really uses this. You target 1 Xyz monster you control. It gains attack equal to an Xyz monster that was destroyed. That thing's attack. I explained that terribly. But one thing to know, it's a galaxy monster. It's actually a galaxy monster, meaning you can summon it even through Galaxy Trance. Our final rank 8 is Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. It's a monster negate. On top of that, it has the ability to search a Photon or Galaxy card from your deck. So if you do not have a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, as fodder for Soul Flare Dragon, don't worry, because you can always just search it using your Photon Lord. We have Cyber Dragon Infinity and 1 Nova. We mainly just because of the Galaxy Soldier. That's the only reason we run these 2. 1 copy of Starliege Galaxion. It's pretty easy to make this using your Photon Vanisher and Thrasher. That's usually how you make it, 1 Thrasher and 1 Vanisher. So with the Vanisher, not only do you get your search for Photon Dragon, you also get to go into Starliege, summon a Photon Dragon from your deck, and then you can maybe go into something like a Soul Flare Dragon if you really want to, or you can go into Union Carrier, which can equip a Photon Orbital to itself, by the way. Both of these are light machines, and you can just get that extra search. We have Numon Dragon. I've stated the reason why I run this with Draglupion. It can go to crazy high amounts of attack. On top of that, it has an incredible floating effect where you get to destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, not just your opponent controls, on the field as possible, and then each player sets something from their graveyard. So you can probably set something like a Galaxy Zero or a Galaxy Trance or Galaxy Expedition. Finally, we have our 1 Union Carrier, mainly because it just gives us an easier access to Photon Orbital, which is sometimes what we need if you just open something like Photon Thrasher plus Vanisher. So that was the deck profile. I hope you liked it. Do like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.